Scientists working in Norway's Arctic Research Centre of Ny-Ålesund are among many monitoring the retreat of sea ice.
There's some pretty profound changes happening in the Arctic and the Antarctic right now, and that's the unprecedented loss of Arctic sea ice and Antarctic sea ice. So the coverage, the thickness of the ice, both are in decline, and this is happening at a rate that hasn't been observed before.
After the hottest June ever recorded, the World Meteorological Organization said sea ice levels were at their lowest rate since satellite observations began, down around 17% below average. That means less reflective surface from which solar rays will be bounced back to space.
This thing called Arctic amplification that's happening. And this is a situation where the Arctic is warming faster than anywhere else on the planet. And for sea ice in particular, one of its superpowers is just how incredibly reflective its surface is. So to give you some numbers, there's about 70–80% of sunlight is reflected back into space from sea ice, but the ocean only reflects about 7%.
And there's particular concern about the Antarctic, which until recently had proved itself more resilient than its polar opposite.
At the moment, we have seen that the Antarctic sea ice that kind of withstood the warming trend, so the reduction, is actually retreating at a very fast rate. And now we see that the coverage has substantially retreated even during summer. So there's less ice surviving through the season and surviving into the next winter. And
Dr. Heil says the sea ice is under pressure from both a warming ocean and changes in the atmosphere, including to the polar vortex, the large region of cold rotating air at either ends of the Earth. This can result in extreme weather events and impacts wildlife.
There's many species that are dependent on that ice cover, whether it's the phytoplankton, which build the base of the marine food web, or polar bears, apex predators. They're having a really difficult time surviving because they're essentially having a habitat loss.
Researchers also want to highlight what happens at the extreme ends of the Earth don't stay put, but have multiple effects, including on weather patterns, sea levels and coastal erosion, likely to hit countries around the world. As the ice slowly melts away in the Arctic and Antarctic regions, scientists are calling for rapid and immediate action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Catherine Drew, CGTN.